real peoples, real places, real answers. It's brought to you by getting involved in your community. Getting involved in your community. And I'm going to break it down a few things. I'm going to go different ways, but I'm not going to stay long on these topics. But later on, we will have a lot of other stuff on these same topics. I'm just opening them up to you. And this is what the show mostly going to be all about. And, and, and I'm going to go from one thing to another thing. But what I want you to do is just listen. And maybe it can help you. And maybe it won't help you. But the same thing. I'm going to speak what's real. And so the reason, I have to tell you, the reason I'm doing what I'm doing, because when you come up without an education, and it's tough out here. It's tough out here. It's hard to make it. But one thing about it, I had parents, and they wasn't educated and everything like that. But I came up, and my father used to sharecrop. And some of you all understand at a certain age what sharecrop means down in Georgia. And I came from Georgia. And when I came up, I had a handicap, was talking. And I stuttered. And I used to start, words didn't come out. I get angry with myself and then get angry with everybody else around me. And you know, when I went to school, throughout elementary school and high school, and I didn't finish. And the worst thing is to start saying something and you can't finish it. And the people looking at your eyes, and then you wondering. And then there's not only that didn't bother me as much as it did, but when everybody else can talk and you can't, don't tell me you know how I felt. No, don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that. No one knows how I really felt. But sometimes you can go through these things like that to make you come up in life more stronger. So I know I couldn't talk. And so what am I going to do now? So I made up my mind, a lot of things you can do. You really, during this time, you really didn't have to do a lot of writing. You really didn't have to do a lot of everything else. But one thing, when I came up, God bless my father and mother, they ran a store. Now my sisters, all my sisters and brothers, on how young they were, they could talk, do everything. But when it come down to counting, and so I knew that was my gift. And then when I was a little boy, 3 to 4 years old, 5 years old, I could run the store, count, do everything like that. But furthermore, said and asked me to talk, it was hostile to cover. And so I said all that to say this. But you know something? But it didn't stop me. See, it didn't stop me. And I went to doing things. And everything I did, and I know I had to do it better than the next person. And so, and I went like in a lot of math, fixing things, little auto mechanic, little everything. So I came to Rochester, and I taking students, but I'm jumping way ahead of myself, but I'm going to get back to it. But the thing is, when you go to talk to people, you sit there, and you know how people be looking at you, and man, and all these things, and man, I used to get angry. But you know, I got angry, but I really didn't, and I really just shut up, and I really didn't try to say a lot of things I wanted to say. And so here I am going on up through. So, you know, when you don't have education, you can't get certain jobs. You know, certain jobs, you got to write all this and do all this and everything. But what I learned to do is get jobs I could do. And I always knew I didn't want to make $5 when I can make $10. And I always was like that. I don't work no cheap job now. But what happened, but when you like that, you have to learn. So, at my home, so people came in from different places. They building projects and stuff like that. And so I did different things, just like mix and mortar. Mix and mortar. See, can't everybody mix mortar? Maybe you don't know even what I'm talking about. But I'm just saying, it's certain things you have to be professional in to do when you're in the trade. Like laying bricks. If your mortar not made right, you can't lay them bricks right. But I knew how to do stuff like that. And I knew how to count. And I knew if I learned how to drive a little bulldozer and stuff, I learned all that to everything I got on, I learned it. Because the reason I know I had to do it better than the next person. And so that's what happened to me. And so by talking, and I used, and I used to, oh Lord, please help me learn to talk, and learn to talk. And so, and what happened, and after I got grown, and so the studying sort of went away. And then I get to talking to people, and I never know when to stop. And I asked the Lord, if he ever start me talking, I never shut up. And that's the reason you see me and you know me. I talk. Because I seen the time I couldn't talk. But I tell you what happened about me talking today. But making me go back in my life and digging out stuff. I could have just gave up. Boy, I'm going to do this. I'm going to drink. Yes, I drank. I smoked a little weed. I did a little everything. I did everything. But one thing what I had in me, I had enough in me to stop. When something hurting you, like talking, it hurted me. And the same thing when I went to drinking hurted me. And everything I did wrong, it hurted me. And so what I did, I started changing. And I changing. And so I was out here in the country, out here in sodas, I was in picking apples. Out there picking apples, man, I can pick apples. Don't tell me about picking apples, man. I can make me $100 and some bucks a day picking apples. And, and then people wasn't getting no more than what? $3 or $4 an hour, $6 a day, and stuff like that. But man, I can pick some apples. You understand that? Because everything I did, I know I had to be better. Then the boy down to that after in 1967, me and my brother came up. And so my brother was going back. And I said, well, I think I'm going back. I said, no, I'm not going back. And so I was out in the country in sodas. As I came to the city, because I had ex-brother-in-law, he married my sister, but they were separated. But I came because I know him, we was always tight. About being always tight, I came here. We came here on a Friday. My brother dropped me off on a Friday. So me and him, we went out that weekend doing this and doing that, talking and different things, because he worked at Kodak. So he worked at that Kodak. And so he said, I want you to come out and put in Africa. I said, no, man, I really didn't come to work the Kodak. I said, I done saved me up a couple of bucks. What I'm going to do is get in manpower and take up auto mechanic. That's what I want to do, take up auto mechanic. He said, well, you can't get in line and everything. I said, well, we talked and talked. Then I said, well, I tell you what I do. I go out there Monday and Kodak. I got in the Kodak, and after they gave me this application, right? And I'm not used to filling out no application, man. And that's really threw me a flip. And so, and this young secretary, and she came and she said, you have to fill out. I said, ma'am, I'm going to tell you something. I said, I just came from the country. I ain't never had to fill out an application to go to work. I said, I've never have. Down there, you didn't have to fill out an application. You go, they want to hire you, they hire you, the kind of jobs I was doing. And so, you know what she said? She said, you know something? She said, I'll fill it out for you. And this right here Monday morning, I just got that Monday morning, and she filled it out for me. The personnel come, he talked to me, he told me another guy, then he told me definitely we're not hired. I interview you, but we're not hiring. Definitely that. And so, like I always been a person, what a person said, hey, I just believe that. I believe that I can talk. I done started talking then. You see, I could talk for myself. And so when it got through, he told me they wasn't hiring. And then he said, well, I'll ask you something. So could you come in this afternoon at 7:30, night Monday, 7:30, and see the guy with over the night crew and everything? Just come in, just see. We not promise you gonna hire you or nothing. So I said, yeah, I can come in this afternoon. So I didn't live no more than about 3 miles from there, 3 miles from Kodak office. I lived on Robert Street. And so I walked, and so I came back in. I came back in that evening. So I came back in the evening. The guy came, well, you will bust? I said, yeah, I will bust. So yeah, said he told me to come and interview you and see, things, ask you questions. What do you know that? And me and that guy, we went around the building, this and that. He asked me questions. I was just answering because I know how to clean. Because I was cleaning that roaster. I know how to clean. And so when he got through, he said, you know something? He said, they told me to tell you, sir, in the morning, said, come and take your physical. I was taking physical. He said, yeah. I said, we hire you. We're going to hire you. Come take your physical. He said, yeah, everything checks out right and everything. Came in that morning and taking my physical, and about 3:30, I'm through taking my physical. So they called me back in. They said, Will, this personnel said, Will, why don't we reckon everything? He said, everything, looks good and everything. So you got 2 things you can do. He said, it's 3:30 now. He said, what you could do is come back next Monday and start. Or don't. Go get you something to eat and get ready to start at 5:30 today. And I said, well, I think I'll go across the street and get me something to eat. And that's history. And I went in Monday morning. And Tuesday evening, I went to work at 5:15. And you see, that's what I'm saying. You got to hold yourself accountable. Now, I could have came in and didn't even know how to clean. I used to clean in a little school in Rochelle where my principal was a principal, and I used to clean. And I don't care if it take a person 3 hours to do something. I guarantee you, I do it in 30 minutes. And I always was like that. Anything I could do, I studied on it. If I do see something I can't do today, I go home to do it tomorrow. But I'm saying all that to say this. And so the same thing as that. And I was there for 24 and a half years. At 24 and a half years, do you know how many days I missed work? I didn't even miss a day from work. I taken off, I take 3 days, but I didn't even miss a day from work. And when I got there, something I'm going to say another thing. See, you can get in a place and mess yourself up. They told me, they said, well, one thing you have to do at Kodak here. So you have to come to work. And if you don't come to work, make sure you call. Now, don't lay out there and don't call, because we will get rid of you now. And they told me the rules. When they told me the rules, and you know what I did? I stuck with them rules. And I started in 67 to Kodak in 1967. And I stayed there 24 and a half years. 24 and a half years. And I was 51 years old. But going to work every day, doing what I was supposed to do, my check was pretty good. My check had to made up. Because why? I knew if I do more than the next man, they would pay me for that. And just having common sense. And not only having common sense in that, having common sense in knowing right from wrong. And even I left Kodak, even I retired from Kodak at 51 and a half years old. I'm young, 51 and a half years, man, what I'm going to do? Well, I sought me up a business. You see what I'm trying to say? If you love yourself and take care of yourself and everything, I know I didn't have education. Still don't have what I should have, but I have enough to get by. But now I'm still pushing on. Because you don't sit and stop for nothing. And number one, I learned this right here. And I deals in the community. Even when I was at Kodak, and I started working in the community, do you know I had the permission at Kodak to go out in the community and work with kids in the school during the time. All I had to do, said when you get ready to go, just let your supervisor know and sign out and sign back in. That was my mission, to do that. And that's what I started there. I started there. I started going out to the community maybe in '76 or '77. Going out, doing this, and then they found out I was love the community, and then they gave me to go out to do things I want to do things like that. But I could not help anybody. But let me tell you something. That was one of the best blessings I ever had in my life. I am a blessed man. And you know something? The same thing. I have did all this. I've drank. I ran at women. I did everything. But you know something? But it's always something in with me always told me, so Will, that's wrong. Lying, that's wrong. And I learned in life, you got to be very careful what you hang around with. If you think about it, whatever you hang around, it'll rub off on you. If you hang around people not doing the right thing, talk about the wrong thing, it's going to rub off on you. If you're around people doing good things, going to school, trying to have something, buying homes and everything, and you will do the same thing. But why should you hang around someone don't want a job with a bad attitude? You already have enough bad attitude yourself. Learn from this. Like you have babies, kids. You mean to tell me, and you know what you've been through? You mean to tell me you don't have time to take care of your kids and school them and let them know? Like I school mine. I didn't get an education, but you going to get an education. Because I know I could have had better jobs and everything. But the point is this right here. But now, I'm glad everything happened like it happened. I know people went to school, did everything, on drugs, everything else. And I tell you, I cried that too. See, when you know something wrong, you see how it's killing other people. Why should you want to kill you? You mean to tell me you can't stop? Do you know what thing I hang around someone ain't doing nothing? And sometimes, you know who that really can be? It can be yourself. You know you got knowledge. Do you know if you don't use it, you'll lose it? If you keep making excuses for yourself, there's nothing wrong with watching TV. Why should you want to watch something and you should be out there looking for a job? They got schools here. They got everything here to help you, and you too lazy to go there do that. Then you praying to God to help you and everything. God can't help you when you ain't helping yourself. That's common sense. It's common sense. We got the thought. Kids is failing in school, and then kids go to the school. They won't listen to the teacher and everything else. You know why? You know the reason why. If they don't listen to you, why should they listen to someone else? Don't let your kids go out there like that. Ask your kids, take down and talk to your kids. So what happened in school? What class you was in? Did kids act out? You can ask questions. They'll tell you. Did you act out? And then when the teacher calls you, then you get angry with the teacher. And you know, you haven't talked to your kid. You train your kid. You train up a child. The same way like someone trained up to you. When someone trained you, did you use it now or not? And stop crying all the time. You don't get nothing by crying. You're going to have to get doing. Why you want someone to help you? They won't help themselves. Just think about that. Ain't it time to stop playing games with yourself? When you don't treat a child right, you got consequences. The child, if they hang with people's girls and young men, young boys, they go to people's houses. You mean to tell me you will let your child go to someone's house you don't know nothing about them? That's the reason so many girls get pregnant. Boys, pregnant girls. Why? You let them go anywhere. You mean to tell me you say you love your child and you don't know your child come home? You love your child, and they leave home, and you get home, and then they don't show up to school till 10, 11 o'clock, and you talking about you love your child. Stop lying to yourself. You lying to yourself. It's time to wake up. Our kids, they don't know how to carry themselves. Teach your kid manners. You gonna let your kid do anything he wanna do? What you raising them for, the jail? You know they don't stop building schools. They're building more jails. Because why? We're not doing what we should do. I don't care if you have anyone you talk to, your nephew, your niece. It don't make no deal. You know, I talk to kids anywhere I go. If the parents say, I start to talk, hey, how you doing? You doing all right in school? The same thing, you know. And I'm going to ask them that. And then, you know, I'm going to tell them the reason I'm asking them that. Here your kid. He comes up. He want to play football. He is not going to school every day. You know, what do you do about that? Do you let him know you can't play no football if you don't go to school every day? If I ain't going to be sitting there watching you go either. If you don't go, you off the team. Just as simple as that. But I tell you about what happened to a lot of stuff like that. When you start to lie to yourself, you lie to your kids. Yes, let your kids know you're doing wrong. Let your kids know, say, yeah, I'm on drugs. You know the reason you do that? If you let them know, you'll stop then. See, you ain't never faced yourself, and you know drugs is nothing gonna mess you up. And a lot of kids, they going out here, they selling drugs to help take care of the family. I have heard girls, a young lady say, hey, you know, I'm going to get me another child. I get more on the welfare. Lord. Ain't that a shame? Ain't that a shame? Think about that. You better than that. You better than that. You got everything it takes to make it. But you have to use it. Yes, all of us make mistakes. We're going to continue to make mistakes. Life is better than that. If you don't watch life, you know what it'll do? It'll give you what you give it. If you put nothing in, nothing out. Like going to bank. Put nothing in them, don't go to try to get something out. The only thing you can get out of prison, you go in there robbing a bank. You know you robbing people. People got cameras and everything. Goes in store, reaching and picking up stuff, putting in your pocket. And don't you know they got cameras in store? You know that. But you still don't teach your kids that. You still don't teach your kids don't go in the store with nobody. I don't care what kind of friend you got. Don't go in the store with them, because if they take it and steal it, and they'll get you with the same thing. You have to teach your kids. You teach your kids to hang around with people stealing? Hey, your kids smoking and different stuff. You know you ain't got no money. You ain't got no money to buy no food. How can they smoke? But you said that, and you know they're doing it, and you ain't doing nothing about it. Then when something happens, and you know to teach your kid to respect the law. Respect the law. Why? The law's supposed to protect you. Well, he killed so-and-so. Wait, look. Do you know the real story? You don't know the real story. Yes, I've been through stuff like that, but common sense. He may be done did everybody else like he ain't doing you like when you meet a person. Yes, sir. You don't sit there going, taking your hand, putting it in your pocket, talking to the police and everything. You keep your hand out the pocket. Teach your kids that. And don't be dressing any kind of way. If you dress like a thug, they'll think you a thug. And you going to dress like a thug, and then they going to see you, and what do you think? What do you think? Sometimes you got to go back to what you think, not what other people think. When you see someone got a hood on their face, walking down the street and everything, I don't want people walking down the street with the hood on and everything. Why? You don't know who that is. Do you? Huh? If you were the police, what would you do? They said the rule being a police, they want to go home at night. They rather take somebody else not to go home, for them not to go home. And they train to kill you. They ain't trained to shoot you in the arm. You're not watching those John Wayne and all that stuff, shooting people in the arm and everything. They shoot to kill. Then you don't kill, you don't teach them that. You don't teach them to respect the police. Well, yeah, I know. Yes, police make mistakes. Yeah, people's on jobs is no different from that. The same thing. But you ain't got no business hating the police. That's your protection. Even, yeah, some of them going to be wrong. I don't care. Whenever you have a sack of apples, a stack of apples, some rotten one's going to be in there. The same thing like we are, everything else. But stop criticizing people. We need the law. They have these little guns. They shoot how many rounds and everything. Yeah, you know what? Well, come on. And these kids ain't got a job. How is they buying these guns and stuff? And not even working? Now, you know there's something wrong with that picture. But I know. What's another? Good is evil always present. What's another? Evil, good always. Regardless, you can buy versa. But life, stop pinning on someone else to do what you're supposed to do. Yes, I talk a lot, but I make sense. The only reason I'm saying what I'm saying, please, I know you have a nephew, you have a niece, and you know some of them not doing right. Sit and talk to them. Sometimes the parents, maybe your sister, maybe your brother, they can't talk to them. But take time. Because remember in life, you get what you put in. And the reason some people never get nothing out, they haven't put nothing in. And that is life. And be able to be kind to yourself. To top it off all, learn to love yourself. Learn to love yourself. Words have power. You hear what I'm saying? Words have power. If you keep telling yourself over and over and over and over, even if it's wrong, if it's right, it don't make no difference. It's going to work for you. Even if you tell yourself, I hate to get up. You should be thankful to get up. A lot of people can't get up. But when you get up, what you going to do? Go sit down and complain? You going to go to school to try to get a job? Or you going to sit home and talk about what you don't have? You want someone to give you something? I'm 75 years old. I ain't never want nobody to give me nothing when I can get it myself. And that's the same thing I'm telling you. Until you start doing for yourself, stop asking other people to do for you. And I'm going to have some more tapes. These tapes will be short and to the point and different subject and everything else. It's nice coming in your home. Real people's real places, real answers. Brought to you by Get Involved in Your Community. Get involved with yourself is number one. And we thank you for listening. Okay. See you next time.